Oh, Steve's here. Remember when I said, Steve, I'm going to bring you in? But now you're at the top of the show. All right, let's do that. All right. This is how my day's going, everybody. Welcome to the Blathering Live. I'm Ken Knapsack, the man screaming into the microphone for episode, I think it's 203 of the series. Then I got to sit down because if I stand, oh, man. This is a good Monday. We're here for about an hour and 15 tonight because I've got an event to go to, which is it's great. This is good. We are. Here's my state of mind. We're gonna get to a quick swing of news with Steve. Newsmax is settling for lying about the 2020 election, but still, Trump wants to get rid of mail-in voting and just, making it easy because you can't trust those Democrats. But hey, Zelensky wore a suit jacket, thank God, but was anything of substance determined in the meeting, which Zelensky rolled deep with the false prophet in charge. 17 days to NFL kickoff, and we're going to take a lot of your calls. A lot of folks here. Here's the story. So I think we're on air. Right now because I am an idiot. And if you watched the Monday morning show or listened to it, I admit I'm a bit out of it. I'm a little run down. Not sick. I don't think I'm ill. Well, here maybe. Just a little run down. But don't cry for me, Argentina. Like I got no major problems right now. I think I've kind of run to the end of my rope. And in doing that, I set up the wrong stream. So we're technically streaming on Thursday, but it's Monday. So if you are a YouTube channel member or a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/KenNapsack, check out the latest episode of Pop Rockin' Radio on there. Use the Thursday call-in link for today's show. And then on Thursday, use this one again. And I'm going to change those ups anyways. Dave McKay, it might be right. The false prophet just wants to get rid of all voting. I am someone who uses mail-in voting, and this is all part of the game. All part of the game. But yes, Michael McCarcel brings a good point. We might have accidentally discovered time travel. That's what it is today. And then we were on Thursday, we'll do some Game of Thrones, we'll do some science. We're not going to do, it's not a good, bad food, but I'm going to try to get Ken Plume on the show Thursday, talk about possible advancements in the world of grilled cheese making. We will dive into that on Thursday. So that's that show. But this show right here, let's bring in producer Steve. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being my parachute.
You're welcome, I think. I'm not sure. I guess the context on that is just when something goes wrong, I can just blabber for 3 minutes while you try to put fires out. Okay, yeah,
you're great. Remember when that happened? Remember when my computer just went beep boop and you closed the show? The 200th episode last week, the biggest episode in the history of the Blathering, and it was you bringing it in for Landy. I mean, look at me, Steve. I look a little red, like I'm a little flushed, but not in the way that Haley Williams flirted with me. Like I think I'm a little exhausted, right?
Did you drop that name on purpose? Like something happened this weekend that you want to tell us about, or that was just a dream you woke up from? Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I did just take a nap. Okay. Haley Williams always shows up in naps to bless me with a wand. And
Go ahead.
No.
I hate to repeat myself about on Blue Sky posts on here, but I legitimately did have a dream last night where I was fat shamed by Tom Brady.
But I mean that typical of Patriots, typical of New England Patriots. Why would he do that to you?
I don't know what to do with that at all. I've never had a dream involving Tom Brady that I can remember, even football related. And for whatever reason, he was on a boat and he just made fun of my shape because we were it was a boat setting. You know what I mean? Shirts were off, and he just
boat party.
Yeah, boat party. Yeah.
Okay, so you shorts. Shirt off. That might have been your mistake. No shirts need to come off at a boat party,
especially Tom Brady's. It's comparison. Yeah,
jump in the water with a t-shirt on. Have some decency. But what did he say? Do you remember exactly what he said?
I don't. Because again, dreams, you can't really have details. All I remember is he made fun of. He fat shamed me in some way, and I just remember looking down at myself and and I don't have pecs, but like, just meat there that, if it was muscular, they would be pecs kind of thing. And it just made me feel very self-conscious about myself when I woke up.
Yeah. As he's like injecting weird, not even chemicals. He's on something that we don't even know of yet. He's on something that's going to help get us to Mars. That's the kind of technology just being plumped into his body right now. And, and he looks great. He looks great. All right, good job, Tom. But I'm mad at Tom for showing up in your dream and fat shaming you.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, breaking my heart as a child and beating the Eagles in the Super Bowl wasn't enough. Yeah. I thought exercising those demons with Nick Foles in 2017 was going to do it, but evidently here we are. Ken, 7 years, 8 years later, he's still haunting me, literally.
What's Nick Foles up to? Where's he these days?
Just living life. He retired as an Eagle officially last year, like in one of those like ceremonies where they signed him for a day. He's just being awesome. He showed up in a Super Bowl commercial last year where he was haunting Tom Brady. That was fun.
Okay, that's
so
good.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. He'll never have to buy a beer in Philly. So
yeah, I like that. If you can walk away from a brutal sport like football with some regional commercials and some postseason bonuses, you've done well. You've done well.
Yeah.
The one big update I was going to say is I'm going to Amelia Clark or her team. They have not reached out to me yet. Okay. I want to thank all the people who tagged her on Instagram in my stand-up bit I shared. I knew I didn't even need to do it. But I also appreciate, Steve, some people actually DM me and were like, hey, if Travis Kelce can do it with Taylor, you can do it. I'm like, I think you're misunderstanding who Travis is compared to me, but thank you. Thank you for your support.
It's not really apples and oranges. That's more like, it's like comparing a Honda Civic to a Bugatti in a way. You know what I mean? Like, we're just
wait.
It's a little different.
First of all,
to be fair, Ken,
I
own a Honda Civic, Ken, for the record, so that's not an insult.
I am sensible, good gas mileage, and maybe still have a cassette player. Yes, I am a Honda Civic. I appreciate that. But I'll keep you all updated. Maybe I'm trying to see if she's maybe wants to go to Islands or Wood Ranch. There's no Applebee's near me. We'll make it happen.
Hey, if she wants a nice quiet life away from the lights and cameras, who knows, Ken? Maybe you have that chance. Don't give up hope.
Yeah, thank you. Will McLean says yet is the key word here. I think though the key to any future romantic successes, Steve, is going to be my squirrels. Which sounds like a weird euphemism, but it's actually my squirrels. I think that's going to be, they're going to see that. They're like, this guy tends to squirrels. He's good.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Maybe that is it. Yeah, maybe you have to slowly, whether or not you continue the squirrel updates on your own TikTok and channel and everything, or you spin it off just like the ASMR sports card channel into like squirrel talk in a sense, and then you build the base with just the squirrels, and then you slowly do you build up to a face reveal kind of a thing, and then boom, the divorcees, single moms will be in your mentions all day.
Could you say it divorcee? Because that makes it just sound.
Sorry, is that better?
I'm attracting a more higher class of human.
Let's be honest. You're getting the divorcees, Ken, not the divorcees.
I am. Yeah, I'm getting the ones that are interested in Applebee's. That's and it is a good restaurant. All right, let's dive into it. We got some calls. If anyone's willing to call in, I say willing because it's a weird Monday. Let me make sure the call cam is set up there. Yes. We got Chris Kiefer here. Dave Mackay says a Bugatti. And actually, first, we should swing through the news, Steve.
Okay.
I don't have look. You all know me. I'm not going to be diving in deep to the news headlines on this show. We'll save that maybe for any time, or when you and I are just feeling it. But when I woke up and you see that Newsmax is settling this lawsuit, $67 billion defamation. This is the whole, 2020 election bullshit. And then it's like this on the same day is this, false prophet. Let's secure ballots, no mail-ins, none of this kind of stuff. And he's out there rambling like the old grandpa that he is. It's a facepalm day, and that's kind of all I got, Steve.
That's about where we are, Ken. I think to address the Newsmax thing, this also goes back to what Fox News did. A similar. Well, Fox News has done this several times between their payouts to from with the Carlson thing, and then before that, paying $70 million in defamation lawsuits, right? They should have to attach that to their name the way that the Heisman Trophy is attached to. You know how you're like when you introduce a Heisman Trophy winner, Ken, you're supposed to say Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush, right?
Right.
Like that's their title, right? Heisman Trophy winner. Defamation lawsuit winner to the tune of $70 million. Channel Fox News reported.
Yeah,
like that should be like a qualifier for those types of things as a title in the same way.
I agree. Like Oscar nominated Oscar winner.
Exactly. When
Sir
you have
Elton John.
Yeah, and Fox News we're in like the hundreds of millions at this point. Newsmax is this little upstart brand new kind of media entity. For them, $70 million. That's a ton of money. For Fox, that's a drop in the bucket.
And I think the facepalm also comes from these two things combined. And the conversations I've had over the last few years on the mail-in voting, and family members who like, how could you trust it? Like, I understand. You think they're dropped in there, and then someone with like a horse and carriage comes and grabs them, and bandits strike them on the road. Yeah, I got it. But that's not what's happening. And have you ever done it? And the response is always no. The response is always no, because, and look, I'll be honest, Steve, you brought this up with me before. It pops up. Where I understand, I'm old. I have a conservative background that I've left behind, but sometimes I'm slow to adapt to change. And it is so typical of talking to someone from the boomer generation who swings that way, who just can't adapt to new things. And these new fandangled machines gots to be wrong. And that's part of my frustration with all of it.
Yeah, it's the aversion to mail-in voting, I think, is a funny development coming out of the summit with Putin this weekend, Ken. Now we know what they really talked about, because they certainly didn't solve the war in Ukraine. Putin was just like, hey, you need to get rid of that mail-in voting shit you guys do, because that is like, what are you doing? Like, that's so stupid. And you need to use these kind of that's what they were talking about. Yeah.
Why you do mail-in voting with your peoples? They can vote you out that way.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So
and look, and here's my thing too. First of all, take it in. Mail-in voting are different kind of ways to vote. We know it's voter suppression. We know that some people maybe can't get out of the house. I haven't voted in person since Bush 2. Like, I once I switched to it, it works. You can track it. You're good to go. Bush 2.
Bush 2 V2. Yeah, got it.
Bush 2 V2.
Got
2004.
It.
But then fine. Okay, great. Then make voting a holiday, a federal holiday. That vote day, we all have off, and we all get time to go vote.
Yep. But you have to make it like no, not just federal bank holiday, Ken. We can't have election day sales at JCPenney's. Okay, you have to have everyone is off. Like it has to be like Christmas or New Year's, like the days where like literally everyone is off. That has to be the election day, because if you don't, then it's just another form of voter suppression, where now it's going to be, well, the service industry is going to be preyed upon in that, because retail is going to say, oh my gosh, add another holiday to the calendar. We can do travel around this. We can do commerce around this. Now all of a sudden the retail industry is booked that day. Oh, you can't take election day off. That's one of the biggest days of the month, blah, 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 blah. So you have to go all the way if you go with election day as a holiday.
Yeah, and some great comments here. I agree with that. Yeah, meet you all the way. Voting like this. Some great questions in chat. Kyle Harlow has a question that I've thought before. Why can't we all vote on a Saturday? Now, look, I know people work on Saturdays, but as a kid coming up, I was like, well, then why make it Tuesday? But that's fair. But also, Osvetnik, Ethan, who joined the Discord today. Good to see you there, Ethan. Thanks for that. And joined the Patreon page. I still like going to a polling place. Laserbolt says, I still like voting in person. It's hard to beat the weird energy of the poll workers. Look, whatever gets you out, Laserbolt. If it ain't the forest mates, but it's the poll workers, I'm just glad you're there, part of the process. Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff, buddy.
Me too. I like to vote in person too. It's just it's a vibe thing. I like to go. It's kind of like for me, I like to go to the mall once every Christmas season just to kind of like drink it in a little bit and just be like, okay, it's Christmas time. I'm around the mall. There's stuff everywhere. People are running around, pissed off at each other, carrying a million shopping bags. There's decorations all over the place. I just love like that little. Just give me one little moment of that, and then I'm good. So that's like election for me.
Okay. I might do that this year, actually, because 17 years in the mall environment. Obviously, I hate it, but I kind of oddly miss it. Like I seek the secret confession is as much as I hated Black Friday and working those hours and everything, I kind of miss the energy and the vibe, and I miss you'd be in the mall and the sound of all those people. This is not like Black Friday. This is like a 7 p.m. on a Saturday night. In December, like the mall would shake, and then you go into a corridor, and like it'd be like a sound vacuum. You just hear like, oh, and you just be in a silent corridor, like, oh god. So I kind of miss that there. The voting, I get the voting in person thing too. If it's something you can do and want to do, obviously we should have that option. And even though looking back, I might have voted for the wrong team, but I've grown and I celebrate my growths and changes. The first time I finally voted. I remember the school in Northridge where I went to. Like, I got teary-eyed. I hate to get sentimental about this, but, this is something that countries fight for. This is what people want to get the rights to do. And it did move me. And it was the people around being part of the process. So I get you on that. And I get you all on it.
The first time I voted was the Obama administration, Ken. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was in a rural area voting at a small elementary school, and I was also at the same time doing some reporting because I was a journalism major, and so I was covering the election itself. So I was asking some people questions outside the polling place, far away, and doing all that, following all the rules, blah 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 blah. And I remember my first election area experience was tainted because this creepy old man somehow drew me into his truck and talked my ear off for about 2 hours. Talking to me about election security and all this kind of stuff. And so I was like taking notes and like kind of half quasi interviewing him for the first 30 minutes. And then the last hour and a half was me like trying to get away and like find an excuse to get out of this dude's truck. And at one point I like was about to call my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and be like, hey, I think I might be getting kidnapped by like a crazy person who's going to ask me to put lotion on my skin in an hour.
Did you see the size of those voting booths? Yeah, that was... That I love where that story went. I'm glad you're okay, Steve. But it started with, this old guy got me into his truck. Woo.
Yeah, I know.
When you did that journalism, did you do this? Like, did you like have your little like notepad out? Like,
oh, I had a handy dandy notebook, just like I was like Steve from Blue's Clues. I was, because I'm producer Steve. I was I liked having the spirals at the top. I was a spiral.
Oh,
on the top
yeah, spiral at the top. I love that
because you get a good flip.
You need a flip. Got a little Zelensky to talk about, but I want to get into a bunch of calls by the time we have the time, Steve. But also, Tully did bring up one of the top news stories of the day. You mentioned it to me off air. Is no one impressed by MSNBC's exciting name change? What do we have? What's it actually called? I didn't see the story till late in the day.
MS Now, Ken, which I can't tell if MS Now is like a new app as part of Outlook, or if that's like a feminine health program, or like a cancer research thing. Like, I'm not really sure what MS Now is, but that's what it's news now. My source, opinion, news, world, something like that.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. See, first of all, I'm upset at this. Because I was very close to kind of pitch into Joseph and Jennifer like an additional Force Center live show called Force Center Now.
Oh, well.
It's ruined.
Yeah, you can't do it now.
Because I kind of like, I got to be honest, Steve, I sometimes like generic corporate branding like that. Like I helped launch Screen Junkies Plus. There's 19 million pluses out there that you could join at a premium rate. And I understand I don't like corporate speak normally. I don't like to ideate things, okay? But I like it's MS Now. Force Center Now. I wanted to do this kind of show. I can't now. It's kind of ruined. It pisses me off.
Well, yeah, because you know what you're getting with a plus, especially nowadays with a plus. I know if I'm getting a plus, okay, now I'm paying $15 for something. Yeah. As far as like streaming. So yeah. No, I get it. There's that association with it. But
JMB says Ken secretly desired to be a corporate middle manager. I didn't desire, JMB. I was one. I was a security director, which meant I was the top of the security chain, but it actually meant I was in the middle management of the mall. So I lived that wonderful life. I lived, Steve, that once a month where we'd gather all the employees and celebrate the birthdays of the month. Oh God. I lived that middle management dream.
So do you look at the calendar at the beginning of the month and like have someone who helps you like, okay, okay, so it's Johnny's birthday this month, it's Sally's birthday this month. How does that planning go?
It was the general manager's executive assistant that usually handled it for the mall. So it wasn't my, it was my clients, but I'm integrated with the clients. And then what was great is here's a sign of when companies are starting to go bad, when they don't pay for the water anymore, like the Sparklets water, where the security had to buy their own water. That's a sign. But we used to celebrate every birthday individually all through the month. And that was like, look, that's just too much ice cream and cake. Pick like the 15th and we'll celebrate them all on that day, which makes sense logistically, but it definitely just kind of made it more generic.
Yeah, there's only so much money in the pizza budget, Ken. So, yeah.
Rant has a good idea. Force Center Max.
Oh, there you go. Force Center Plus.
Force Center to the extreme. Quickly, I want to get to the calls. We got Roger, we got Cam Hass, we got Brett and Mystical Mar, we got Addy. Okay, you and I, again, I want to say, you and I both we're having busy times in our life. And I did not have, today's a Force Center day, so I literally finished my Force Center work about 4:40 today. I didn't follow all of the details of Zelensky and team's meeting. I did see him show up in a sport coat, and that same dumbass reporter who made fun of this last time out was like, you showed up without a suit? Like, the man's at war, and that whole bullshit. And the same guy, thank you for wearing the sport coat. And Zelensky shoots back, yeah, I wore a suit this time. You're in the same suit. I changed. You did not. Beautiful comeback. Great crowd work from Zelensky on that. But the big question is, Steve, anything come out of it? Not that I was expecting peace, but anything come out of it?
Not that I've seen or am really aware of, Ken, other than the fact that, yeah, like you said, I think the biggest news was that, I think this is the first time any of us have seen Zelensky in a sport coat since pre-war. And right. He was a professional actor and a comedic actor, so he knows how to command a room. He knows how to retort to a jackass. So, no worries with him there, especially, and he's also doing that in his second language. That makes that even more impressive. But no, Zelensky showed up with Europe's finest. I mean, essentially, like he was rolling deep with like the head honchos of NATO and of the big countries, and just showed up basically like, okay, we're not going to let Donald and JD bully you out of a room again. Essentially, it's the only reason I can think of them being there and just showing that they're gonna. But Trump is just going to. I don't know, man. They pretty much said Trump pretty much said he has to make a deal at this point, which includes ceding land. That's the red line for Ukraine. They're not going to do that. So Trump is just like, give me the peace prize. I did the thing. It's like, I held a dictator on American soil.
Yeah, you show up in my house. And you take one of my bedrooms, and I'm like, could you please leave my house? And you're like, I will, but only if I get to keep the bedroom that I took.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah.
And we will continue to fight.
Yeah. We're just going to give away, if Mexico just said, oh, hey, we just want like New Mexico and Arizona back. We're not going to just no, they're not going to be okay with that. If Russia said, hey, we want Alaska, we're not going to just give it to them. But here's the thing, Ken, he just blames it on Obama. He just says, oh, no, they just want Crimea. They want the stuff that Obama let them take away in 2014. Right. So that's his easy pivot. And that's all he needs to tell. That was it. That's all he needed to do to connect the dots for the base to get behind him on. Oh, okay. So now the Republican talking orders and marching orders will be, oh, okay, no, yeah, Obama effed up in 2014. That's not our fault. So that's Ukraine and Russia's fault. So they should just end the war and go from there, kind of thing. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Give up the land, and there's such Ukraine is a cradle of civilization, so to speak, with the former Soviet Union and the Russian identity. So it's like, it's a little knife in the wound that Putin feels every day. But there you go. Anyone have thoughts on that? You can call into the show. We're gonna talk a little bit. We might come up during the show. I might talk about it Thursday. Fascinated by Conan O'Brien's comments. I didn't get the whole quote. I didn't need it. It's just a good thought starter. Late night's dead. Late night will die. But people like Stephen Colbert will go on because they're too talented. And that got me thinking, Steve, of what is next. Kimmel's still going strong. Tonight Show's not going to just disappear. Saturday Night Live, that goes as long as Lauren and his ghost want it to go, I think, at this point. Even though in the past it almost did get canceled. But I think we're fast approaching that new paradigm, and I don't know what is after that, because I was watching the SNL 50 doc, the music doc today over a quick lunch break, and I just like, it's such a cultural water cooler, and I know we don't have that anymore, and I've been on that for a while, but does anything like that take its place, do you think, as a Ute compared to me?
No, I think you're going to see the Joe Rogan model. I think, to me, that's the most natural fit of what is next from a think about how the way the late night circuit, I mean, going way back, to before the current generation, before, Leno and even Johnny Carson, all that kind of stuff. The late night shows were the tastemakers for a lot of these talents. It's where you're introduced to a lot of these artists, whether they're actors or musicians. Now the podcast circuit does a lot of that. It's, I saw this comedian on Joe Rogan for the first time. I saw this person get interviewed on call, on this podcast, that podcast, New Heights, or whatever it is, right? So I think that's what you're going to see. I think John Oliver has kind of an interesting in between, where he has a premium show on HBO where he does once a week, where he does these deep dive, investigative, comedic stories in a sense. I think that's kind of like one branch of it, and I think Colbert could go that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does somewhere in the middle ground. But I think if you were to ask me kind of what is late night getting replaced with, in a sense, it's that, because that's what's filling that gap, right? That those are the vehicles that are talking about people doing the trade, the things that publications used to do before we had all these podcast media and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think even a little bit of I don't even want to say resurgence in the Daily Show. Trevor Noah did a spectacular job, but kind of a newfound energy behind some of it. John coming up for one day. Yeah, there's still that space. Yeah, and as the podcast world shoots way beyond podcasts, that's why you're seeing my face now. If I had my druthers, this would still be me in 2013, just talking into a microphone with the lights off. But I kind of look at it. Anyways, fascinating. If you got thoughts on that, we can talk about it later in the week too. Call into the show here. Cameron Hass is right there. Josh Johnson's one to look out for. His ascension to the Daily Show hosting rotation is a great next step. And if you haven't seen his stand up, he's doing his own thing in the most wonderful way, and it's inspiring. Yeah. I don't necessarily have the skills to do what he does or the desire to do what he does. I like to approach stand-up a little differently, but he's on another level right now, but he's still getting better, still finding his stride. It's exciting to watch a legend be born.
Yeah, I don't think it's cliche to say social media is also changing it, but that's true as well, between people that you're seeing on TikTok and people putting out, quote unquote content in that way. But also streaming, like, a lot of these Twitch streamers are some of the biggest people in entertainment for the quote unquote youngins. You know what I mean? A lot of young people wouldn't know anything about politics if it wasn't for Hassan Piker on the left or Tim Pool on the right or Charlie Kirk, God forbid, on the right. So it's a whole different landscape.
Interesting conversation to have. If you have, again, any thoughts, let us know here. Let's go ahead and bring in some calls here. If you want to call in the show, become a YouTube channel member if you'd like. Sometimes you get gifted memberships from wonderful, generous people in the audience. Look for those. Or you can be a supporter on patreon.com/Ken Napzok. Old Handsaw says he's waiting for CBS late movie to come back. Reruns of Simon and Barnaby Jones. I think that'd be a good idea, too. Let's bring in Brennan Mystical Mar right now. How are you doing, Brennan?
Hello there.
What's on your mind?
I went to a convention on Saturday.
A convention? What convention, pray tell, sir?
GalaxyCon San Jose.
Oh, I've never been to that one. Solid time?
Yeah, indeed. Very much so, yes.
What did you experience there? What did you get?
Well, I met William Shatner. I actually did.
You met William Shatner. What was that like?
He was in a good mood.
You knew right where I was going, Brennan.
I only say that because, he can be a temperamental guy. We know that.
Yeah, he's the problem. Yeah, he's the problem.
People have had good interactions with him. People have had bad interactions with him.
Yeah, but that's good.
I'm glad. No, it was great. And he said some very, very kind words to me.
Oh, that's good. I think he's a sincere guy, too. Like,
he is. He's very sincere.
Yeah, I think he is Shatner in a lot of ways, and he's got a lot of history and done a lot of things that are questionable for his cast members. But
94, so I figured if I don't meet him now,
he's still going strong. That I gotta tell you,
I may never get another chance. So
absolutely, that's a great 94, man. He's a great lesson, and and age is a number and still going strong. That's amazing.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, we all know the stories of Shatner, and
yeah, right.
But having that positive interaction was just amazing.
Did you get a photo? Was it that kind of off, or
I
how did
had him autograph a picture of him from, not from Star Trek, but from the famous Twilight Zone episode.
Oh yeah, the thing that kind of put him on the map.
Where he thinks there's the monster on the wing of the airplane.
Yep. I love that. That's a great choice. I secretly was hoping that maybe you were going to get a headshot from his TJ Hooker days, but that works as well.
Those were there, but that's too obvious. I wanted to go with something.
That's good.
That is amazing. A deep cut. I did tell him that I really liked him in Judgment at Nuremberg.
I haven't experienced that one.
He's in that movie, a very young William Shatner.
Okay.
That's good. By the way, if you have not seen Judgment at Nuremberg, anybody in the chat, so let's just say that movie speaks to what's going on right now.
There you go. A timely political picture.
That's a side note, but yes.
Well, I'm glad you got to experience Shatner. Anything else on your mind for the convention that you want to share?
Well, I got to meet Matthew Lillard, as in Shaggy, from the Scooby-Doo films.
Love it.
Got to meet Tara Strong, the voice actress.
Love it.
Actually got to meet Jeremy Renner, which is really cool.
Jeremy Renner was there. Woo!
Yeah, and deep cut, I got to meet Barry Bostwick, if anyone remembers him.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry Bostwick. Amazing.
Yeah, so
that's a good run.
And Ron Perlman and a few other people, so.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that,
and
Brennan.
Timothy Zahn for you Star Wars fans.
Zahn.
I got to meet him. He was really cool.
He's a very nice guy. I've been around him. I have an autographed Heir to the Empire, Timothy Zahn,
that's what I had him sign, for me.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So it was great.
What do you love about conventions, Brennan, in closing here? What do you love?
Getting to meet the celebrities that mean a lot to us. That's
great.
Getting to get a moment to really say thank you for everything you've done. I met Katie Sackhoff a couple times. And I met Giancarlo Esposito for the second time, actually.
Oh, that's great. Did he remember you?
He did, actually. He said, I remember you. And I'm like, oh. I'm not thinking, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You're notorious. Beautiful.
But meeting you and Joseph was probably the highlight of all conventions.
Oh, we don't rank higher than Shatner. Like, we don't rank higher than Shatner. Come on.
Well, you guys maybe aren't as sentimental as Shatner, but
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, but regardless, it was great. It was a great experience.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that, Brennan. We'll meet again at a convention soon. If anything, we'll be around for Star Wars Celebration 2027.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to be there for sure.
Thank you, Brennan, for letting us in on your little fun adventure.
Okie dokie. Catch you later.
Brennan Moore, call it in there. I will be on his podcast soon. Look for that coming late August, early September. Steve, any other convention stories other than when you allegedly met me? Anything? Do you like going to conventions?
I love going to conventions. I love the idea of just being around like your people and just knowing, especially like Star Wars Celebration is just like such an easy one because I just it's like going to a sports game that's like a home game, right? Like you just know you're around everyone who's like we're all here for the same reason. It doesn't feel so crappy sitting in line for stuff like. I just feel a little more, whereas like a sports game, I'm a little more ornery and pissed off, especially if there's someone like a freaking like Giants uniform waiting for a beer before me, something like that, right? Yeah. But no, I just remember how like that vibe, especially at Celebration. But just for like a quick convention story was going to see the Rise of Skywalker trailer at Celebration Chicago. Yeah. And I wasn't fortunate enough to win the lottery. But I may or may not have reached out to somebody on Discord who did win the lottery, may or may not have exchanged something with them to get that lottery thing to get into the So anyway, so we got in, and then we were sitting in there in line, and the wind was so strong, it just knocked all the damn like scanners and things. So we all just walked in anyway. So I was like, well, oh well. But so that's the kind of stuff you do with those at conventions. Yeah.
Memories made. Looking forward to Star Wars Celebration, Los Angeles. We'll figure out something. We'll BlatherCon that in some way. We got some calls lined up here from Cam, Roger, and Addie. But Cam Hass also sent in a nice super chat. Love the Monday morning show. Always hits me right in the place on my commute. Closest thing I have to church. Oh, no. Steve, that's a little blasphemous, right? It's a little blasphemous. It's dangerous.
Good vibes.
Addie has never been to a con. Well, we got to change that. Cons are fun, man. It's an alternate reality. It is a little bit of a getaway camp for adults, though there's a lot of kids there as well. But it's always a good time.
Yeah, if you're there for multiple days, and especially if you're doing stuff with a bunch of people, especially with you, Ken, like you would, especially like with the celebration, you have all sorts of people that are participating in things. There is very much that 2 or 3 day of summer camp feeling, where then at the end everyone leaves and it's like, oh, we're all going our separate ways again, kind of a thing, right?
The emotional come down after a big convention or event, yeah, it's sometimes the worst, but also the best because it means you get to do it again. Cam Stewart says the Church of Ken and the Blather Day Saints. Now we're just getting into real tough territory. And sorry
that's
for the wordplay,
for sure.
Cameron, sorry, you're healed. You're blessed. The wordplay, the sin of the wordplay has been forgiven. Ranger Donald says it best. Cons are fun but smelly. That's true. If you're on the floor. All right, let's speak to Cam directly here, bringing in Cam H onto the program. Thanks for calling in, Cam. Thanks for support. Thanks for listening. What's on your mind, buddy?
Just off the bat, I was that last comment made me think, what's smellier, Ken? A wrestling show or a con?
um,
I've been to both, and it's tough.
Yeah. Look, man, there is something special about an indie wrestling show, and it might be the winner, because the one thing I'll say, it's usually the con floor, right? San Diego Comic-Con, man, there's some winds that blow through there that you don't know what's going on. You just got to face it. But you can escape it. You can get outside. You can get some air. But when you go to an indie wrestling show and you sit in the crowd, it's something special around you. But even worse are indie wrestling locker rooms, which are often tiny supply closets. At one point, we had a locker room that was actually up on the roof of a Yankee Doodle bar and grill in Simi Valley. We had to be careful up there. We were in a weird supply closet that led up to the roof. And there's just, they're working folk getting ready to entertain the audience. They're working up a sweat. They're going in and out of the ring, so there's going to be a smell. But the thing that gets me with wrestling locker rooms is the gear carries with it a trapped pungent odor that doesn't seem to go away ever. It's painful.
I'm actually going to see All Out in Toronto on September 20th. I'm pretty pumped. AEW's big show in Toronto, so hopefully it doesn't smell too bad there.
I think the big shows are a little bit better. Like the WWEs and the AEWs, maybe they're in bigger arenas that are more ventilated. But when you're at some armory or a boys and girls club and you're squeezed into someone who just got off their shift and they went to see a wrestling show because they're a wrestling fan, that's when you got to be careful.
Yeah, I'd had an experience like that. I went to go see a Dynamite a couple years ago with my dad in Hamilton, Ontario, which is a crazy place for a weekly wrestling show to be, but it was cool. And I got to see Sting actually have a match, a ladder match in the year of our Lord 2023. Well, I guess not the year, that'd be 2025, but that was pretty cool.
Final run, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got to see him on his final run, and that was a smelly show for sure. But but Ken, I did. I really loved the morning show. I don't know what it is, but they always seem to get me in the right spot every day, every week on my commute.
Oh, that's good. This week's a big lesson was pressing the pause button and being okay with it on life. I'm like I said, I'm a little run down, and even after I recorded that, I feel as though I lied to you all. I literally recorded, and as the files were downloading, I said I got to go for a walk. And I went for a 4-mile walk yesterday evening. So I feel bad because I didn't press pause, but I didn't press the gas. But anyways, what are you pressing pause on this week?
Yeah, Ken, I'm in, so I run summer camps. That's my summer job while I'm trying to make some money to save up for school and stuff. And
Nice.
so this is the last week of camp. I've done it for like worked at the same for my county camps for like 6 years. And I got, the whole thing like becoming too important in the job that you don't really like, that whole
Yeah, I
thing.
do. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of where I got. I'm like now I like run the camps. Like I gotta like make sure they got all the stuff, and I'm like the least organized person I know. So it's I don't know why I decided to do this, but I got 4 days left of my final week, and I'll definitely
Mm,
have a paid co-op next summer. So this is definitely my swan song here. So
nice.
definitely excited to press pause on this chapter.
Yeah, and again, be kind to yourself and reset and look for something new, and yeah, take those moments and not feel. And I lost last night. I lost the bat a little bit. Even after I recorded the stuff to you all, I felt guilty for slowing down, and I didn't. As Michael McCarcel said in our Blathering Health Club, is like you didn't do CrossFit. You went for a walk. Steve and I were talking about it off air. That's not a bad thing, but like I felt I lost a little bit. So Cam, press pause, give yourself a little reward for getting through this chapter of your life.
Appreciate that, Ken. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and you should never feel guilty. Not that you do or anything, but I really hope you never feel guilty for pressing pause, or if you want to postpone a blather or anything like that. I just hope we all got your back, and love the stuff that you put out as much as you put out. So, oh wow,
Uh,
that sounded bad. That sounded bad at the end, but
hey,
sorry.
look, I'll put out for all of you. No, no, I appreciate. I know what you mean, Cameron, and I really do appreciate it. It's great. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks so much, Ken.
All right, Cam Hass calling in, asking about smelly things. Steve, smellier experience: football locker room, baseball stadium, hockey. What do you think?
In my humble experience, I mean, nothing beats the middle school gym locker room from back in the day, especially because I was in school right when Axe body spray was invented. So that will never be beaten. But I have you beat. I went to a Magic tournament / Magic convention, not like
Oh
card
boy.
like tricks, like Magic the Gathering,
Oh, not yeah. Okay. Yeah.
like the card game Magic.
Yeah.
I went to one of those conventions in Richmond, Virginia, and that was probably the stinkiest room I've ever been in.
That's amazing.
There's deodorant stations. Like that's how you know it's bad. When they have to like publicly tell you that you smell, you know it's bad.
God bless them for doing so. I think that's a.
At least
I
they're
think that's
somewhat
important.
self-aware.
That's amazing. Yeah, the Axe body spray got me because I used it once because I purchased it, but I purchased like the travel size.
Mm-hmm.
And this is during my Screen Junkies days, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I don't wear cologne or a lot. Like, I think that's a good idea if you do, and if you don't, no problem. But I was like, I don't know. I had it, and I just was like, let's see what this does. I kind of like the idea of smelling good, and I I put it on, and then I went to work, and it was a TV fights day at Screen Junkies, and we're in the studio setting up, and it's just me and the boys, handsome Ryan, the camera guy, JT, some of the other folks. And no one, we're dudes. We're not going to say anything. And then Roxy Stryer walks in the studio, and the first words out of her mouth are, "Who put on goddamn Axe body spray?" and everyone, they didn't know, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It does kind of smell like that. Well, I wonder what that is. I don't know. Like, I would have rather have just farted and had to claim it. I was just like, I don't know. So to this day, I don't think Roxy knew it was me. So, right. Roxy, if someone's showing you this clip later, I apologize for wearing Axe body spray on that day. I did, and by the way, got rid of it. Never wore it again. Never wore it again.
No, I'm sure those are the kinds of things you remember, and you only make that mistake once. When Cam was talking about having seen Sting, though, I was convinced that he was, for like a good 3.5 seconds, Ken, I was picturing Sting from The Police. Yeah. Like, and then I was like, oh, that's right. There's another Sting, a wrestling one. Is he the one that looks like he's in Kiss, but he's a wrestler?
Yeah. Well,
okay. I'm thinking of the right guy.
Yeah. He started out in the 80s. He was a tag team partner of the Ultimate Warrior in the early days of their careers. And he was more of a beach blonde, buzz cut, vibrant colors, bright neon 80s colors. Okay. And he was famous for that. And then smartly, during the era of wrestling, the mid 90s, when things started getting dark and gritty, he disappeared for a while, and then he came back just as the Crow. which is pretty much how he finished his career.
Right. Okay, that's what I remember of Sting. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Vermont Mike remembers their tag team was the Blade Runners. I like Kyle's pitch here. The new show, Axe Body Spray Confessions. I like that. I'll never forget that. And it's just that, as Roxy's just, because if you all know Roxy Stryer, she's going to say what's on her mind, and it just was like, it was just, there was anger behind it I hadn't felt with Roxy yet, Steve.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And I didn't want to be in the crosshairs with my Axe Body Spray. Never again.
Yeah.
Never again.
Well, that's what 7th grade locker room smelled like when I was a kid. So, but just
That's
times, 15 because of the multiple flavors and scents that people were using. It was, I'm surprised. I probably have some lingering like lung issues from having breathed that in for as long as I did.
Oh yeah, we're going to find out later on. There's going to be one of those studies. One of Dr. Addy's students is going to publish a paper on the effects of Axe Body Spray on the generations that came.
It wasn't the car exhaust, you idiots. It was all the body spray and hairspray that was killing the ozone layer. Also, extremely flammable, those Axe Body Sprays, because as a young delinquent, we used to take the little travel Axe body sprays, put them in a little bottle of rubbing alcohol, throw a match in it, and it just goes boom.
Yeah,
controlled boom.
In my junior high days in the late 80s, Aquanet hairspray, which is how everyone had their big hair.
Yeah, right.
I remember kids at the bus stop literally with the lighter just like a torch in Vietnam, just insane stuff there. JMB says, maybe I should let Roxy know, or does that make me a rat? I mean, look, it makes you a rat, but also I feel as though enough time has passed that I can confess with a clear heart. So
we don't do snitches around here, Ken. No, snitches have to deal with me. No snitches. We don't do that around here. Nope.
Love that. Let's take a call from Roger. Love when Roger calls in. Roger. Mr. Roger, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Mr. Ken, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good to hear from you again. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, continue to theme on the stinky and cons.
Yes.
Con I went to one time, I was following these 3 big old guys in full Klingon regalia. And it was in Oklahoma in July. And the authenticity of the entire thing was just beyond belief.
Do you think they factored that into their Klingon cosplay?
I think it's probably a byproduct that they are probably real proud of. I think. Yeah.
Look, I think it's realistic because we don't spend a lot of time wondering what the essence, aura, and smell of Klingons would be, or quite frankly, Chewbacca. I don't know. I don't trust the Chewbacca. I mean, we've seen one shower that he took. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I remember the one movie they were making it like you needed to keep your distance, not because they might hit you, but yeah. I do want to thank you guys for your news coverage last week of the lawn darts and Sarah Pallin's backyard and everything. You're not getting that on MS now,
right?
Only someplace like here. I really appreciated that.
Well, look, all the credit to our on-the-scene reporter, producer Steve, who flew up to Alaska twice in one show, in 1 week. I appreciate that. Steve, do you feel like your journalism degree finally paid off?
Yeah, my parents are proud. I know that for sure. And don't thank me. Thank the Blathering Amex Black Card, because that's who really bailed us out.
Yeah. Roger, would you like to see more on the field reporting from our intrepid reporter, producer Steve?
Oh, absolutely. I want to know what's going on out there. So
tell the world you're being informed. Thank you, my friend, for calling in with the update on the odor there. What cons have you attended in your time, Roger?
Oh, several here in Oklahoma. I've never been to San Diego or any of the big ones. I went to Dallas a few times. Saw some people. Miss Carrie Fisher. I saw her when she was still among us, and so I've been some nice places. I just never been all the way to California for the major league con.
Well, we got to try. I think you'd love swinging into California, Roger, and we'll get you out for Blathering.
Oh, and have you noticed our Ollie Gordon for your Dolphins is kind of making some headway.
He is. A little sports talk here. Steve, we have a big decision to make in the Miami Dolphin locker room. Is our true number 2 running back Ollie Gordon III?
All right, now we're talking about the real Miami Dolphins or your Madden franchise?
Fair question, because I did get my first in-season Madden win last night with the Dolphins. They beat the Colts 20-14 on opening day, but on the real Dolphins.
Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. Who your number 2 running back? That's cute. That's adorable. I don't even know who my backup running back is, Ken, because I have Saquon Barkley on my team, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then the moment Saquon Barkley pulls up with a hammy, you'll be wondering who this UPS delivery guy running the ball for you is now. That's what it's going to be.
Oh, darn. We'll just have to give the ball to Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith.
See,
yeah,
Roger,
right.
You see the abuse I take here as a Dolphin
Yeah,
fan?
well, it's like Eagles fans. It's, like last year, I'm sure you didn't have to hear anything about it last year. But
I'll tell you, this is I shared the clip of the Sports Misery Index bit we did last week. I shared it with Mark Ellis. I said, hey, watch this. We got your misery index. And if you all remember the episode, Mark's Sports Misery Index, pretty high, meaning pretty low in terms of pleasure and enjoyment out of sports. And Mark texts me back. He goes, man, that was tough to take with an Eagles fan in the background laughing. So
yes, mission accomplished. Go Birds.
Awesome. Roger, thanks for calling in, buddy. I appreciate it.
all right, thanks, Ken.
Roger, checking in from Oklahoma. I loved my time in Oklahoma City. Steve, you ever been down to Oklahoma City?
Flown over it. That's mean. I've been to Kansas City, never been to Oklahoma City. I imagine they can't be that different, right?
I haven't been to Kansas City.
Okay.
I love my time. Yeah,
cool.
I spent essentially what was 2 nights there, traveling through 2 times. But I loved it. I'm not saying Roger lives in downtown Oklahoma City, but I do love Oklahoma City. There you go. I don't fly over these states with contempt like producer Steve does.
I fly over everywhere with contempt because I hate flying. So that's not necessarily. It's more of just I don't. Yeah.
It's everywhere. How do we fix this with you? Because we gotta eventually with the Blathering, we are gonna have to fly you out to LA like monthly for meetings. This empire's building.
We can't do that remote. We can't do meetings remotely.
It's going to be face to face. We got to get that corporate speak going. We got to ideate together.
Ideate? I don't even know. I'm not sure I know what that means, Ken.
We got to. No one does. No CEO has ever said the word ideate. Understands what the hell it means. There's literally no way that anyone knows what ideate is.
I don't know. A lot of Ambien. I don't know, but I don't like having to go that route. You know what I mean? And
drunk?
It's like.
What about drunk?
No, because if I'm just like drunk or stoned, then I'm just like super anxiety riddled, and so that doesn't help. So then I'm just like, what was that? Like every little bump will be like, what was that? You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's the exact opposite way I want to go.
I know we've talked about this before, so I'm just retreading a little bit. But
that's okay.
No, there are those YouTube channels where pilots or former pilots explain some of the sounds you hear in flight to make you feel a little more comfortable. And I always want to recommend that to folks like you who aren't comfortable with flying, which is a complete, understandable, legit thing. I wasn't all the time either. But that opens up your algorithm to YouTube footage of plane crashes.
Right. I'm sure.
I can't have that. I can't give that to you.
Yeah, I've woken up many times to like the Discovery Channel auto playing the show, like why planes crash and all that kind of stuff. But you know what makes me feel better more than anything is I have seen the YouTube videos of the Boeing or the Airbus like wing tests where they like flex the wing like practically all the way back, and it's like more than it would ever encounter in the air. That makes me feel a little bit better when you see the videos of the wings going like this and every one of their babies like screaming on the airplane. So
yeah, no, all right, we'll get you there. Joseph Thomas checking in, watching live for the first time in a bit. Glad to have you here. This is a Blathering Live. We are live Mondays, Thursdays, most Saturdays. I keep teasing maybe a switch to Tuesday. Mondays are Force Center days. Stand by, and we'll see where my life settles. But all you have to do is just subscribe on YouTube or the podcast feed. You'll get the audio versions. Jump in here. We love having you all hanging out here. Want to highlight some things I haven't done in a while. Want to check if speaking of anxiety, My friend Scott has a great podcast feed called Blue Star Meditation. You can find it on Apple. You can find it on Spotify, wherever you choose to get your podcasts. If it's not those two spots, it is some very relaxing meditations. It does very well. Scott is wonderful in that regard. And check out A Classic Now. He's got some new stuff out since then. But my buddy Aaron Alexovich, who was one of the key figures in creating the world of Invader Zim, has a graphic novel Shock City out there. Two kids trying to live in a town run by fascists. It was already timely. It's only gotten more timely there. Also, my friend Brandon McClure has his Substack, btmcclure.substack.com, bitching about nothing, though I do know he's talking about moving it off Substack because of some recent controversies there, so I'll update you all on that. Steve, should we take a call? You ready for a call from
Let's do it.
The doctor?
Let's talk to the doctor.
Let's get a Taylor Swift update. I do have a Taylor Swift question. Dr. Addie's here, our resident professor of smart things. How you doing?
What is your Taylor Swift question, Ken?
Okay, so I heard a clip of a song that's going to be on the new album. Is it a single now? Where she's basically like saying, if I only passed through, it was maybe on Instagram, that she was basically saying, oh no, I arranged all of this, Travis. I'm a wizard. You think this happened by accident? No, I made this happen. Did I miss that? Am I wrong? Did I interpret this wrong? What's going on?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It was a song. I heard a song.
Are you talking about the song Mastermind?
Maybe. Is that an old song?
It's off of the Midnight's album, which is now going to be 3 albums ago.
Okay, so, but then how come it sound? Who's she masterminded in that song? Steve, whoa. I said that very carefully.
I was looking for a dump button or something. I was like, what do we do? Taylor Swift, we cannot afford Taylor Swift to sue us.
So who was
after
that
those
song
Alaska
about?
Flights, Ken?
Who is that song about, Addie?
I believe it is supposedly about Joe Alwyn, who she dated for many, many years.
Oh, that's boring. I mean, not your answer, but that I want it.
I'm assuming that's the song you're talking about, Ken. There is no single off of The Life of a Showgirl yet, and I don't do weeks, so I don't know anything.
Okay. No, I think you're right. But I think you're jogging my memory. It's kind of a weird talky song, and I think she does say.
What if I told you none of it was accidental in the first place?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's Mastermind.
Man, I really thought it was about Travis Kelce. I thought it was a new song, and I was like, wow, look at that. She's just claiming it. That was great. Okay. All right. Steve, do you think Amelia Clark will ever release a song about engineering our meeting?
I hope she does, Ken. I really, really hope she does.
She could sing. She can. All right, Addie, thank you. I really mean it. It was driving me crazy. I was like, I couldn't think of the song, and I wasn't going to go. She has a very large catalog of songs, and I was.
She really does.
Yeah.
She really does. No, you're welcome. I'm always happy to be the purveyor of Taylor Swift knowledge.
Love it.
But I am here tonight to time travel a little bit. Okay. As you may remember, I am catching up on my podcasts from being gone for a while.
Right.
It is currently still July in my podcast feed.
Okay.
It is July 23rd. And I wanted to participate in conversations that I wasn't able to participate in live. And I was gonna ask you, this is going to be a terrible game because you're never going to be able to guess. I was going to ask you to guess the 2 movies I have seen the most times in a movie theater. So I have my record for seeing a movie multiple times in a movie theater is 5.
Okay.
And there are 2 movies that hold that record.
Okay. All right, Steve. I'm gonna. You want to guess here too, Steve, or do you know the answer? Okay.
I don't know the answers. I don't know the answers.
My first guess is Sense and Sensibility.
No.
Okay.
To keep this from being a 3-hour-long show, I will give you each 3 guesses, and then I'll reveal the answer. How about that?
Okay. That's my first shot, Steve.
Yeah. Wicked?
No.
Damn it.
That's a good one.
All right,
that's a good one. Practical Magic.
Oh, that would have been a good one, but no.
Was Hamilton in theaters?
No, it comes out in theaters on September 5th, though.
God damn it.
Okay. Is that's your official second guess, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. My third and final guess is, someone said in chat too, yep, Moulin Rouge.
Never actually saw that one in a movie theater.
Okay. I have seen it. I didn't see it in the theater either. All right, Steve, your final guess?
Attack of the Clones.
I think I only saw that one once. That would be a good guess, though.
Good guess.
Okay.
All right.
So
the answer is?
I will say these are both of an era where movie tickets only cost like $5 because that's, you could see a movie 5 times in a movie theater when they were only $5 a piece. It is a it's a tie at 5 times a piece between the 2008 classic Twilight.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, the first one.
I didn't know Addie was a Twilight girl.
Twilight 1?
Yeah.
Twilight 1.
Okay.
And the 2005 masterpiece, Walk the Line.
Okay. That's fine. I want to know more about that. The Twilight one makes perfect sense. I totally should have guessed that. I went too far back with Practical Magic.
I don't think I saw Practical Magic in a movie theater either. I distinctly distinctly remember renting that one from Blockbuster.
That's a good Friday night.
Uh-huh.
Get some Nestle Crunch, some chocolate malted balls, and watch Practical Magic. I might do that tonight.
And to everyone who guessed a Lord of the Rings movie, that is an honorable mention. I saw The Two Towers 3 times in one weekend.
And that's hard to do. Time-wise, that's hard to do.
Weekend. Yeah. Well, I learned 2 things about Addie tonight besides the fact that she was a Twilight girl. She said in the chat that she was an RA in college, which is also like the least surprising thing that I've learned about Addie. So neither of those things are surprising, but I didn't know them. So we learn something new every day.
Residential advisor, right? That's what that is?
Yeah, yes.
See, I didn't go to a big school. I did 2 years of community college and then went into radio, so I never had to experience that. Steve, what made you think, that makes sense?
Addie just seems like the camp counselor type, or like the person who is like the shepherd in a way. You know what I mean? Like she's going to tend to her flock. The RA is the person who lives on the floor to make sure that this group of kids doesn't die or kill each other. Right. Yeah. So that is kind of what Addie is to our community and Discord and everything. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I like my rules and I like enforcing my rules.
See, unlimited power.
I was the kid in elementary school who no one would talk to one day because she reminded the teacher that they weren't allowed to go for recess if they hadn't done their reading.
Oh, don't be a snitch, Eddie.
Steve really does not like snitches. We have learned that tonight.
No, you can't. You can't. You got to draw the line.
No one tell Roxy Stryer that I wore the Axe body spray, and no one snitch on the playground. What's the biggest horror story, Addie, from being RA?
There was the night I got called out into this random field that was just off. Technically, it was part of campus, but it was also like right by the highway, where they had caught a guy and a girl in a car
reading poems.
Yes. And I think he was under the influence of something other than alcohol.
Okay.
And so he was being like arrested.
Okay.
And it was my job to watch him after they put him in the back seat of the car to make sure he didn't like run away.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry.
You're a runner.
My job is what now? I was not a runner and I was not athletic.
Okay. I'll give you, look, here's, if you're ever in that situation again, go for the legs, take their shoes off. That's what I would do when I would arrest people. I'd take their shoes off and I'd throw their shoes away so that if they got up and run, more likely to slip or run slower. Grade A tip. All right. So next time you're at your college and that happens, Eddie, employ that tip.
I was involved in several situations with this person. I wound up being instrumental in him getting kicked out of college. So
okay, all right. This
I
is
also
good.
I went to a religious school. I had caught him in his girlfriend's room the next morning when he wasn't allowed to be there.
The scandal. Yes.
Well, he wasn't actually in the room. He was coming out of the ladies' restroom because it was a girls' dorm and that was all there was.
Look, I mean, yeah.
And I was going in to take a shower.
Well, okay. None of this is good. Look, my only experience with an RA was when I was 30. My girlfriend was 20, and she was going to Occidental College studying geology and paleontology. Later would go to Johnson City, Tennessee to get her master's in it. And for her birthday, I decided to surprise her with some roses in the morning, but I needed to like coordinate with the RA to get in the building. And, you know, you might think it's pretty cool to date a college girl when you're older. It is not. Because I was in that dorm room, Addie, and I looked like a grandpa. I felt so creepy and bad. And the RA was sweet to let me in and drop the roses off. And never again. Never again.
The worst one I had was I got called my senior year. I was a head RA, so I got called that story was from when I was a head RA. So I got called to do a lot of things like beyond just policing my building. Like I was in charge of all of campus. I got called to break up a party because we were a dry campus. And I got called by a friend of mine to break up the party because he had been at the party and thought it was getting out of hand. He was like, this is not going to be a good situation. Someone needs to break this up.
Yeah. This is not fair. This is not fair to ask you.
No. And as I'm standing there waiting for my backup to come to go in and break up the party, I watch my best friend walk into the dorm.
Okay.
To go to the party because it's her fraternity and sorority that's having the party.
Right.
And I'm just standing there like, I'm going to bust my best friend in about 5 minutes and I can't tell her because
this is
then that would,
This is the complication of power. This is the responsibility of the color of authority.
It was not always fun. It was a lot of fun, but it wasn't always fun. And I got a single room out of the deal, which, let's be honest, is why.
See, this is why I take the emergency seat on flights. More leg room. There's a benefit for the helpers. That's what I think. Steve, did we? Do you got any RA stories? Were you an RA? No, you weren't. You were a troublemaker.
No, that's not fair. I was not a troublemaker. I was not an RA, though. I was a bookie for my RA my freshman year of college. That's a long story.
See, that tracks. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
He was nice. It worked out for me because he kind of, when we kind of, turned the other way with a few things because I was like, hey, I got $200 I got to give you on Thursday because you bet on the Steelers. So, don't maybe
also,
look at what's in my fridge.
I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend, Steve, with you and bookies and betting. Now it makes a lot of sense how you showed up here to the Blathering last year.
Everything's okay, Ken. We're fine. I'm fine. I'm okay.
Look, I want to make some dolphin money this year.
I'm just saying.
Producer Steve does not have a gambling problem, and Producer Steve is not an alcoholic. He has made both of those things very clear.
Very
clear.
I still don't know how a 5.5 hour stream happened the other night. I'm not mad. I'm impressed. I don't know how you did that, Steve.
I really had to finish Jedi Academy. I was prepared to. Yeah, there was a whole thing. There was a whole arc. Go. There's 8 episodes in a playlist. People can go watch it if they have way too much time on their hands.
Please watch.
Yeah, but yeah.
And you all should subscribe to the Blathering Backstage. We got a few more subscribers there this weekend. Appreciate that. Addie, any final thoughts here as I start to wind down on the show so I can get to a birthday party?
Twilight and Walk the Line are fine movies worth seeing 5 times in a movie theater.
Oh yeah, Walk the Line. Great choice. Mangold, Johnny Cash.
It was such an odd one to have wound up seeing 5 times, I will admit, because I was like a freshman in high school or a sophomore in high school.
Yeah. What was the one thing that brought you back 5 times?
I honestly don't even remember, Ken. Like, it was one of those things where like I wound up seeing it. I can't remember if I just tagged along when a lot of different people went to see it. Like somebody was like, "Oh, I'm going to go see Walk the Line." And I was like, "Oh, I'll go with you."
Okay.
I don't remember it being a situation where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go see this movie again." Like,
but you were there. I understand.
But I was there.
I understand. It's a good film. It's Johnny Cash. You're not going wrong.
Yeah,
Addie,
I became quite obsessed with Johnny Cash. And I was living not that far from the Carter family fold at the time. So it was a whole thing.
There you go. Y'all should check out that doc on Richard Nixon and Johnny Cash and their meeting in 1970. It's fantastic. I've highlighted it before. Addie, thanks for solving the Taylor Swift mystery for me tonight.
You're welcome. Mastermind is an excellent song.
I'm going to go listen to it tonight as I drive to the party. I will. Thank you, Addie. We'll see you Thursday for Science.
See you Thursday.
All right, Steve, we are on the way out of here. Look, I encourage your gambling because I'm convinced we can make money this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You have a record to put on the line, a winning record, if I believe, or at least 500 if I believe correctly. I'll go back and look at the notes. So we'll do a career record. We'll wipe the slate clean for this season, but we'll still put your career number there, kind of on the back burner.
That's how.
Right?
That's
that's
like Chris Berman did that, right?
Exactly.
Chris Berman did that.
Right. But we're not gonna, last year's last year. You have new fresh start. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna put a little. I'm gonna have a little, blathering pile of gambling money that I have to kind of just match whatever picks you do, and we'll just kind of see.
Love
see
that.
how you do this year. Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, I wish I did it last year because I would have won. I would have freaking won a bunch of money.
Well, see, look, even if you're out with a new board, you've got to still submit the games I need to pick.
Yes, I can do that.
We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we're gonna do a Blathering fantasy league, so that's another way that I'll still be involved with the crew while
we should
I'm out.
We should probably get started on that, right?
I've got some stuff in the works already as far as infrastructure goes. So once the details are ready to go, I can post it all on Discord and that stuff. So
look, he wasn't an RA, but he knows how to run a fantasy football league. And if you want to be part of that, we're going to make that easy to access in the Patreon Discord. Jump into that. Also, I really do mean it. If you're looking to get some, get back into shape or have some accountability buddies in your pursuit of health, not a weight number, a health situation, we got a great thing going with the Blathering Health Club in the Discord. Access it by signing up to patreon.com/catnapsock. That's it. I'm out of here. We'll see y'all soon. All right. Bye.